Welcome to my channel. My name is Grace Manzi. Today I'll be showing you how to draft a basic sleeve pattern block as a continuation from our previous videos where we drafted the basic bodice pattern. I'll be showing you how to draft this sleeve pattern from scratch with measurements and all the calculations in detail. Enjoy the video. You're going to need pattern paper folded in half. You're going to need 2 marker pens with different colors so you can mark the back and front with different colors. You're going to need your pen and your tape measure. Okay, you're going to need French curve, a pair of scissors, a straight ruler. Okay, you are also going to use your back bodice pattern which we made in the previous video. So if you've not watched the previous video, you need to go back and watch it so you have this basic bodice pattern. Okay, now for the measurements, you are going to need your shoulder to elbow, shoulder to wrist, your elbow circumference divided by 2, your wrist circumference divided by 2. Okay, we are also going to need the bust circumference to calculate the cape height. So I'm going to show you how to calculate the cape height using our bust measurements. Now, to calculate the cape height, you divide the bust circumference by 12 and add half an inch. So mine is 44 divided by 12 plus 0.5. I get 4.2. Okay, so it's important that you make these calculations before you start drafting. Now let's go to the drafting. I've drawn a straight line here that you can see. Okay, this is just a guideline and it's going to act as our shoulder line. So the first line that we are going to draw here is our cape height, which is mine is 4.2. So I'm going to measure 4.2 inches from my shoulder line, okay, and use my pen to mark there 4.2. okay, and then I go on and mark 4.2 so that I can draw a straight line across. Right, after marking those, the next thing I'm going to do is to just draw a straight line, as you can see there. Okay, draw a straight line and label it cape height. Okay, that's our shoulder line. Right, now the next thing I'm going to do is to mark the shoulder to elbow. My shoulder to elbow is 13 inches. So I'm going to mark 13 inches here. Okay, 13 inches there, right? And then I go ahead and mark 13 inches there as well so that I can draw a straight line. Okay, right. Then I go ahead and draw a straight line. Now let's call this the elbow. Now, shoulder to wrist is 23 inches. So I'm going to mark 23 inches from the shoulder all the way to the wrist. 23 inches, okay? Then I put a mark there on the 23 mark, and then I go ahead, measure 23 inches and mark there, okay? And then I draw a straight line. Okay, we're going to call this one wrist. Okay, now I'm going to be drawing the armhole, which is drawn at the cape of the sleeve pattern. Now, to draw that we need the measurement from our shoulder, our back bodice pattern. So we are going to be using this measurement here. So we are going to be using 8.5. That is the measurement we are going to be using, okay? So you put that in your head. We're going to measure 8.5 right from here until we touch the line. We touch the cape height, okay? So our cape height and the cape from the armhole is going to touch there, okay? Right. So you put a mark there, right? And then you're going to connect the 2 points from the corner, like the apex of the sleeve, right, and draw a straight line. Okay. Now, after drawing this line here, we are going to mark the midpoint of that line, okay? So what I normally do is I just get my tape measure onto the line, bring it back, okay, right, and flatten it here, okay, like that. So that's the midpoint of my line here, okay. So once I find the midpoint, the next thing I'm going to do is to go up by ½ inch, and I mark there, right? So now I'm going to draw the shoulder, the back armhole. So to draw the back armhole, I get my curved ruler, okay? I connect this line here. I connect the point to this point there, okay? Like that. Turn my curved ruler the other way, okay? Like this. So now I'm going to draw up to there, okay? As you can see, like that. Right. So that's my back armhole. Okay, we're going to do the front armhole in black. So to do the front armhole, you come back to this point with your French curve, okay? Right. Make a curve here, aiming to join this point here and that corner there. So you draw a line there. Okay, right. Once you've done that, again you turn your French curve, right, and connect it to that point. Okay, now we've got our front here, and then we've got our back there in blue, right? Okay, so the next thing you are going to do is to come to the elbow line here, okay? So my elbow circumference is 7, so I divide that by 2. My elbow is 14, divide by 2, I get 7, okay? So you divide your elbow circumference by 2, and mine is 7, okay? So I mark here, right? And also you go down to the wrist. My wrist circumference is 8, divide by 2, 4. So I mark at the 4 here, okay? Right. Now we come back to the top here, okay? Instead of just connecting straight to the elbow, if you are a curvy person like me, I always find it safe to add ½ inch ease on there plus half an inch seam allowance. So I'm going to add 1 inch there. Okay, it's always safer to have more. You can always cut it off, right? Because this sleeve is supposed to fit perfectly into our basic bodice pattern. So if it's going to be more, it's better to cut it off from there, right? Rather than try to, when it's short, you don't know how you are going to add it. So I always make sure I add 1 inch there, okay, for ease. Right, then I go ahead and connect these points. To elbow, and then next to the wrist. Right, okay, so that's our back part of the sleeve done. So the next thing I'm going to cut out along the back dimensions here, then we turn over and then we cut out the front, and that's basically it. The sleeve pattern is done, so just watch me cutting it out, okay? Okay, so here we are cutting along the back line there, okay, on the blue line, which is our back armhole. Okay, right. Once we have done that, open your sleeve pattern, okay? It's going to be looking like that when it's open, okay? It's going to look like that. So that's your back and that's your front. So I might as well mark this one with blue, back, and then front. Okay, and then I'm going to draw a straight line here, right? Because we're going to cut this sleeve on the straight grain, okay? Right, so I can just go ahead now and cut off the back armhole from the front and separate it like that, okay? That's our sleeve pattern done, okay? So thank you very much for watching. Going to be different shapes. I can actually see the shape of my arm here, okay? So yeah, that's it, all done. Thanks for watching.